Well, welcome to Live Bait TV. We're here on Drag Lake in Halliburton, at this beautiful place where Mafco House was built. It was quite something seeing how you managed to get the house up here, because it's quite treacherous and it took a whole team of people to bring this up. So can you tell us a bit about just Mafco House in general and how the concept started? Because you found this property first, correct? And
that's right. My wife and I were looking for a retreat to get away from the city and spend our weekends at, and found this land. And basically we spent probably the first year, I guess, just camping on it and using it to sort of hike around and determine a building site. And then we worked on plans for a building. I'm not an architect, but I'm a designer in a sense, where I do architectural drawings, and I'm a carpenter by trade, so it was very easy for me to sit down and design the building working with a structural engineer. One morning we woke up and we heard about glazing that was being reclaimed off of two downtown Toronto office towers, and that morning we went down to the site and we bought the glazing that's now on the building.
the glazing is, sorry, the window treatments?
The window systems. Basically it's all the 5 by 6 foot glazing units that you see. So the whole thought of taking glazing that was downtown Toronto and bringing it up here to view nature from was really irresistible. Mm-hmm. And then the whole idea of it not going into a landfill site just said reuse, exactly. So the glazing determined the dimension of the building, and had a huge inspiration with regards to the grid system, the finishes that we used on the exterior, the whole idea of blending into the woods. We had no idea what the glazing was going to look like or how it was going to react when we got up here. In the city, on the towers, it was more of a gold color, and we brought it up here and put it in place. It was great to see that it turned darker bronze and started reflecting the trees and the rock.
Now this is not a prefab.
It's not a prefab.
But you can order one, basically.
You can certainly order one, yes. And what we're working towards, it's taken a year or two to define a market, and our client is someone who's looking for an alternative to cottage country than the monster home. People are wanting to be more connected with nature, lower impact, incorporating sustainable green technology into the buildings. And what we're doing is we're moving towards more of an engineered type home, where in a sense it'd be a kit. If we can standardize glazing systems, a grid post and beam structure, then basically what we can do is have the building shipped to site, pre-cut and ready for assembly by field labor. We have a deep well submersible pump that stays in the lake year-round, and we do require a generator. We haven't put solar in yet, that's the next thing, but every year we look at what's important, and we really haven't needed it up to this point. So we fire our generator up for about 5 minutes a day, and it turns our pump on in the lake, and we fill the 65 gallon holding tank. And basically, before it does that, what it does is it comes in and it runs up through to this sediment filter, runs through it, goes in through the carbon filter, and then down in through the ultraviolet filter. And the ultraviolet does require power, so when the generator's on, we're purifying, the power's on so we can purify the water with the ultraviolet, and then it makes its way into the tank. So once the water gets in the tank, it's completely purified. And then when you turn on the hot water, this is a Bosch hot water system that runs off of propane, and basically it's a heat-on-demand hot water heater. So instead of storing a 100-gallon tank of water all the time hot, this just basically heats the water as we need it when we turn on our tap. It's very efficient.
It's perfect. So Dan, tell us a bit about the fridge and how it's run on propane and how it all works, because you're completely off the grid in here.
Exactly. So the fridge works on propane, like you said. It basically there's the fridge, the hot water heater, and the stove that all run off a single source of propane at the far end of the building. And basically the fridge runs for around 22 days on a 20-pound cylinder. So it's really efficient, and it's amazing. It keeps things as cold or colder. It makes ice in 2 hours.
It's amazing. And the stove, you were telling me about the stove.
The stove was something we had in our house, and when we moved from the house to the condo, Dan and I both love to cook a lot, and we couldn't give up the stove. It is a natural gas stove, and what we did is we put, basically to convert it to propane, it just meant putting new orifices in the burners and a regulator on the back, and again, this runs off our 20-pound propane cylinder.
Well, this is absolutely stunning. Thank you so much for your time. And it's mafcohouse.com, correct? If you go to mafcohouse.com, you can see more and read more about these houses and all the different designs. Thanks again.